Fallen. Prachtig ingesny.
He's got set on the tie line. Chips and take. Look at the speed of this man.
Goeiemôre en welkom terug hier by St. John's College se paastoernooi vir die derde wedstryd van die tweede dag van die toernooi. Hoërkool Nelspruit teen St. David's van Inanda en dit beloof om 'n baie opwindende wedstryd te wees. Sopas die wedstryd tussen Eye of the Tiger Rugby Akademie en Hoërkool Florida geëindig met Hoërkool Florida wat die wedstryd wen met 31 punte teenoor 5 en 'n baie goeie wen vir die manne van Florida. Na hulle op die eerste dag van die toernooi nalskraap teen HTS Daniel Pinaar die knie gebuig het. Baie inspirerende storie natuurlik, die Eye of the Tiger Rugby Akademie met mevrou Kwega, 'n voormalige raadslid van SARU en die eerste vroue raadslid in die geskiedenis van SARU wat die Eye of the Tiger Rugby Akademie uit eie fondse uitgestig het. En baie kompeterend was Eye of the Tiger in die eerste helfte, maar ongelukkig vir hulle die span van Florida net te veel skietgoed in die tweede helfte gehad en die wedstryd uiteindelik beklink met 31 punte teenoor 5. Soos wat ons na die veld kyk, Hoërskool Nelspruit reeds op die veld. Ons sien die voorspelers maak so 'n bietjie litte los en Nelspruit sal speel van links na regs soos wat ons na die veld kyk. En pragtige uitsig hier uit die kommentaarhok op St. John's College se hoofgebou. Een van die ikoniese geboue van Suid-Afrikaanse skole en wat 'n voorreg om vir die rugby hier lewendig te kan uitsaai. Sien die Hoërskool Nelspruit spelers wat steeds wag vir die span van St. David's. Ons kan sien hoe hulle op die stadion by die trappe afgestap kom en beloof om 'n baie interessante tweestryd op te lewer hier op die tweede dag van die St. John's College paastoernooi. As ons vinnig loer na die beginspan van Hoërskool Nelspruit, Estian Schroeder, Jason Cornelius, Wian Otto, Isak Swanepoel, Micha van der Nest, Henko van der Merwe, Andy Fourie en Tian Kotse, die lostrio, Jacques McQuire, Tian Du Plessis, Joshua Maas, Stefan Smit en Riandrey van der Merwe in die centers, en Gerb Loupscher met Paul Reder as heelagter. En ons kyk ook na die plaasvervangers. Die vinnig net die beginspan van St. David's. En as ons sien hoe St. David's in swart op die stadium op die veld draf en hulle sal speel soos wat ons aan die veld kyk van regs na links en dit beloof om 'n baie interessante tweestryd te wees soos ons gesê het. Hoërskool Nelspruit tradisioneel een van die magtige rugby skole in Suid-Afrika. St. David's van Inanda wat die afgelope paar jaar verskriklik hard gewerk het aan hulle rugbyprogram en vir hulle ook 'n groot voorreg om by hierdie toernooi te kan deelneem. It'll be the fly-off of St. David's Marist to get us underway here in the third match on day 2 at the St. John's Festival. And this live feed proudly brought to you by Standard Bank. And a great work also being done by School Sports Live, bringing you 27 games live today, right across South Africa as we see skippers with a start. And a good win for St. David's right from the kickoff. As Nelspruit looks to have lost that ball forward, but the referee says St. David's have infringed and they played the ball back on the ground. And a penalty early on in the fixture to Nelspruit, and they'll be looking to set up an attacking line out. Unfortunately, the Cardinals sin of not finding touch from the penalty. Well fielded by St. David's, and big kick fielded in by, looks like the scrum off for Nelspruit. Early possession here for Nelspruit, and a kick looking to find some grass in the 22. Well covered by Leo Michael, the fullback of St. David's, and he gets the ball into touch just outside his own 22. Encouraging start here for Hoërkool Nelspruit. Looks like the hooker Cornelius getting ready to feed the line out for Nelspruit. Just outside the 22 of St. David's. Well taken in there by Nagel. And unfortunately the pass just going forward there, and Smith, the centre, just losing forward there for Hoërkool Nelspruit. But an encouraging start here for Nelspruit. They're already camped in the half of St. David's. And St. David's will be looking to escape out of their own 22 at this stage. The scrum just outside the 22, so they won't be able to kick it out directly. They might be looking to set up the next phase with a strong carry by one of the centres. Although it looks like Marcel Skeepers, the fly-off, has fallen back into the pocket. It'll be scrum off Andrew Kaywood looking to feed here for St. David's. Just outside the 22, the first scrum of the match. Looks to be a pretty solid platform on the hit. Kaywood gives the signal and feeds. Big scrum by Nelspruit though. Kaywood under immense pressure and gets the ball out and well carried up there, but the Nelspruit forwards in over the ball very, very quickly. St. David's does very well to recycle though. And the kick out of their own 22, unfortunately not finding touch. And now it's a great opportunity for Nelspruit on the counter-attack. And then the ball lost forward in midfield into the hands of one of the St. David's players. Advantage to St. David's for the knock-on. And can they produce something on the counter-attack with turnover possession? Ball coming out a bit slowly. Fed eventually to Skeepers with a carry-up. Good carry from the fly-off, showing good strength. Kaywood at the base. Beautiful carry by Liam van Rensburg for St. David's. Big carry up by the loose head prop. Kaywood once again digging for it. Finds Skeepers. Skeepers with a kick downfield. Straight down the middle. And the ball finds grass. Eventually into the hands of fullback Rieder for Nelspruit, who kicks it back with some interest. And unfortunately the ball just going out in the goal area of St. David's, and the referee brings us right back for a scrum for St. David's Inanda inside the half of Nelspruit. Ja, ongelukkige ongedwongen fout daar deur 'n Rieder van Nelspruit, maar dit was baie baie naby aan 'n skitterende skop en St. David's Inanda wat nou die bal kan voer in 'n vaste skram omtrent op die 10 meter stippellyn van Hoërkool Nelspruit. So amper 4 minute in die wedstryd verby en die tellings steeds 0-0. As I welcome my fellow commentator Lucky Letabo. Lucky, welcome, and what an atmosphere currently here at St. John's.
Certainly so, and thanks for that, Johan. It is, of course, the second day of the Standard Bank St. John's College East Rugby Festival. The weather has been good thus far. Just saw 1 or 2 dripples. Hopefully it'll stay away as we see that scrum just beyond the halfway line. Referee adjudicating that St. David's Marist and just hooking there, awarding the penalty to the men from Nelspruit.
Yeah, up until this point, the scrum of Hoërkool Nelspruit in the 2 or 3 scrums we've seen absolutely dominant, and that'll bring them great possession for the rest of this match as we see fly off Du Plessis with a good touch finder for Hoërkool Nelspruit and taking play deep into the half of St. David's. So it's an attacking line out here for Nelspruit with Cornelius about to feed, and a good attacking opportunity early in the match.
Bit of pressure here, Johan, for the young man Du Plessis to take over from the fly half of last year. Certainly between you and I, last year, one of the players of the festival for us, so that was a Stefan van den Bank. So it'll be interesting to see his successor and how well he does during this festival.
Yeah, Van der Bank last year, absolutely awesome year for him. Represented the Pumas at Craven Week as well, and was one of the outstanding fly-offs at Craven Week as well. As we see St. David's escaping out of their own 22 very well. And Tiaan Du Plessis definitely looks like he's got a learned boot on him. And we'll have to keep an eye on him as Stefan van der Bank's successor, as Lucky rightfully says. Another feed for Cornelius in the line-out for Nelspruit. Already quite a few line-outs in this match. And Cornelius, let's see if he can find his jumpers. Yeah, beautiful take in the line-out by Swanepoel. That's that man, Du Plessis. Good defense in the midfield by Sean Naylor for St. David's, as we see Nelspruit looking to utilize maybe the blind side. No, they go on the open side. Carried up by the big heavies in the midfield. Good defensive work by St. David's.
Ball being spread very nicely here by Nelspruit, but the rush defense of St. David's Marist is really keeping them in the fold here and making it very difficult for them to cross the halfway line. But The problem, as we've often seen, Johan, with the rush defense, is to maintain discipline and watch for that offside line.
See Nelspruit getting possession once again. Pass going out to Swanepoel. Little short ball once again. Big traffic in the midfield. Great defense in the midfield by that St. David's. And a beautiful counter ruck as well. Real battle on for the ball in the ground at this stage. But it comes out on the side of the boys from Inanda. Kaywood with a carry around the fringe. Now they're looking for quick ball, but the ball is effectively slowed down by the boys from Nelspruit. Carried up on the blind side for St. David's. And another pick and go. Looks like Nelspruit hands over that ball. Now it's spread down the back line. Carried in by Gregory Curry for St. David's. But Nelspruit doing great working, holding him up. But the referee says he had knees to the ground, so it was a tackle. Called the players to release. And like every good forward, they didn't listen. And unfortunately penalised for that.
Touch and go, though it must be said, Johan, because you could see the intentions of the men from Nelspruit. They wanted to hold him up to effect a turnover. Unfortunately, not effective enough. And Mr. Skeepers will look to add 3 points to the St. David's score and get the first points on the board here. We see him just in the middle of the park, just outside the 10-metre line.
Yeah, Lucky, that's one of the newer rules in rugby, and it is one that confuses me as well. You know, referee has different interpretations about when is a player tackled. Rules say when knees touch ground, but it's so difficult. You know, you feel like you've got all the strength in the world when you're holding him up, and you can't see his knees touching the ground. So, yeah, it's a debatable one, but the penalty nonetheless. And let's see what Skeepers does with this one. You can see the concentration edged all over Skeepers' face. Comes forward, looks like a quality strike. Yeah, and he raises the flag. There was a quality strike straight through the middle, and St. David's Marist from Inanda take the lead over Hoërkool Nelspruit. Marcel Skeepers adds the 3 points, and it's 3-0 after 8 minutes and 40 seconds in the first half.
Certainly so. A little bit of reprieve there by Inanda. They will feel like the better of the two teams at the moment, considering how little they have visited their opponents 22, and to come away with points so early in the game against a team like Nelspruit will be much appreciated, I'm sure.
Kaywood with a pass to big prop forward Jordan Swart. Unfortunately, the ball just being lost backwards. Kaywood now with a box kick. Looks to be a quality kick by Kaywood. And the bounce is good for St. David's, and very, very nearly fielded by Matthew Tollis. But it looks like Nelspruit has managed to hang on to possession. And it's their lock forward, Van der Nest, going forward with the ball. Picked up by the scrum off, heavily in traffic, but beautifully laid back. And now St. David's will have to let go of that ball. They've gone to ground. Duplessis, who fed fullback Rieder on the touchline, doing very well to stay inside the field of play. St. David's really with some quality counter-ruck work once again. Looks like...
This is the second time we've seen this, Johan, and really quality stuff from St. David's Marist Inanda. And the critical thing here for me, Johan, is the counter-rucking is done with not every single forward in the pack. Often we see the dominance of teams. They want to counter-ruck and the whole team is in there. St. David's here, good body positioning, 3 or 4 players over the ball and to secure it. It's really lovely to see, Johan.
Lucky, it's all about body position at that ruck time, as we know. And you know, if you can get low and get the power coming out of the core, coming out of the thighs, and really drive over the ball, you have the opposition under pressure. And that's a beautiful work once again by St. David's. And it looks like Rieder is going to go for goal again. This will be a monster kick, Lucky. It's in his own half, basically on the touchline. So on the angle, this has to be a kick of very, very close to 60 meters. And probably 57, 58 meters on the angle. And maybe we've got a young Frans Steyn in the making here. We saw on day one Vix Brink from Windhoek Gymnasium kick the ball a mile. And let's see what Marcel Skeepers can do with this one. Judging from his first effort, he should have the length. And it's all about the strike here. Sometimes the temptation is to try and kick this one too hard. It's all about the strike here for Marcel Skeepers. Strike was good. Unfortunately to the right, but it was touch and go. I think he might have had the length there. Would have been touch and go, but it's a great wake-up call to Nelspruit, saying you can't make mistakes anywhere in your half, Lucky.
Certainly so, Johan, and I don't know if you noticed, just as a penalty was being taken a little bit before that, the referee did have a chat to the captain of Nelspruit. I'm sure that the conversation was just to warn them of the repeated infringements, particularly at ruck time and the counter-rucking. So that, apart from Skeepers' kicking ability, I'm sure Nelspruit will be wary of the penalty count against them and will have to work on their discipline a little bit more.
Ja, het was 'n baie groot afskop daar deur Du Plessis geweest, maar ongelukkig die bal wat net te ver gedra het. En dit was goeie werk deur Matthew Tollis wat die bal buite die speelveld gevang het vir St Davids. En ongelukkig is dit Nelspruit weer terug in hulle 22. Die afskop was direk uit. En 'n guldige geleentheid nou vir St Davids met Matteo Moheng om die bal in die lynstand te gooi. Afgeneem in die lynstand deur Hoërkool Nelspruit. Ongelukkig vir hulle nog steeds onder druk, diep in lyn 22. En dit sal daai man Du Plessis wees om te kyk of hy verligting kan bring. En 'n baie goeie skop deur Du Plessis. Dit lyk my hy het sy tyd onder Stefan van der Bank baie goed gebruik. En die man wat groot verligting bring vir sy span, Lucky.
Certainly so, lovely exit there. Not the distance he would have liked, but a well-executed kick. No pressure there from St Davids, and unfortunately for them, Moeng gets another go at it, and successfully so. Takes the ball forward is James Maxindo.
Good ball out to the backs now, and it's the fullback Leo Michael with a carry. And once again, great body positions, but this time Nelspruit had hands on the ball, and it looks like the number 12, Smith, with great work at the breakdown done by Nelspruit. And it's that man Du Plessis looking to bring relief once again. Make sure of his touch and a good kick.
Lovely, absolutely fantastic. Lovely kick there. That ball twisted and turned. Time will stop just for the moment as we see a replacement on. And whilst we have that replacement, we are, of course, all over social media here at School Sport Live, and we do encourage everybody to follow us. We are on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and of course on YouTube. You can follow us here. And this year, a lovely edition by School Sports Live. You are able to interact with Johan and myself live here in the commentary booth. Just hashtag SSL Rugby and hashtag SJC Rugby Fest, and we'll be able to read your comments out live. Please do give your words of advice and support, so we're able to encourage the players on.
Nelspruit with the possession here, and they're carried up in the middle of the field. Beautiful offload into the hands of Swanepoel. And he spreads it wide to Rieder. Beautifully picked up by Van der Merwe. Inside to Swanepoel again. But the assistant referee has his flag up. And there was some enterprising handling there by High School Nelspruit. And it looks like if they can keep their hands on the ball, they'll be dangerous, Lucky.
Certainly so, as we see wonderful images of this campus here at St John's College. Really immaculate facilities we have here, and credit to all the ground staff here at St John's College. They've really done their work, and it's lovely to be here. Join us, folks, if you're around the corner. We are in Houghton. 30 Rand gets you in, and you're welcome to come and witness a wonderful festival of schoolboy rugby.
St David's looking to spread the ball out of their own 22. Perhaps just setting up another phase to get a little bit of less pressure on, and then once again Nelspruit infringing at rack time, and the referee says they went off their feet this time, and this will have to be a concern to the Nelspruit coaching staff, or probably 5 or 6 penalties conceded already in this game, as Marcel Skeepers once again doesn't find touch. Well taken in by Nelspruit, and it's that man Stefan Smith on the attack. Beautiful offload. Now it's into the hands of Rieder. Unfortunately, Rieder just loses it forward. And once again, like we've seen so many times at this festival, that last pass just going missing, and a promising attacking opportunity gone for High School Nelspruit.
The critical factor here as well, Johan, is that twice in the space of 2 minutes now that Nelspruit have been on the front foot inside the 22 and have made critical errors. We cannot have that happen if they want to capitalize on them being in the opponent's 22.
Ja, definitief Lucky. As mens kyk dat Gerard Holshausen en Chris Mans, die afrigters van Hoërskool Nelspruit, sal nie gelukkig wees met die begin van hulle span op die stadium nie. Te veel ongedwonge foute. En die spelers van Nelspruit, as ons sien hoe die vaskop voorry, lyk dit vir my, ja, is die vaskop voorry, Wian Otto, weer terug op die been. Maar het lyk tog of hy die veld gaan verlaat op die stadium. En Wian Otto, dit is dan wat so 'n hinkepink van die veld af op die stadium. En dit sal 'n gevoelige slag wees vir Hoërskool Nelspruit. Ons sien, het lyk soos Broekman wat op die veld gekom het. In die loskopposisie en die loskopstit Schreder wat dan skuif na die vaskopkant. Skitterend om te sien dat die speler dan ook so veelsidig is om aan beide kante van die skram te kan sak. Kaywood with the feed now for St. David's. Into the hands of Skippers. Skippers put boots to ball. Looks like a good kick. Very well covered though by Rieder for Nelspruit. And Rieder looking to go on the outside, managing to get rid of the defender. But then beautiful work in covering for St. David's by the fullback, Leo Michael. Ball still in play though, and the referee says carry on in the hands of Nelspruit now. But then unfortunately just losing it forward. And another silly mistake by High School Nelspruit. But there was some brilliant work done by Rieder on the left-hand touchline, Lucky.
Certainly so. He has shown a good strength and he does back himself, doesn't he, Johan? He will have a go. And I'm sure St. David's have noticed that and they're very quick to shut him down. He's a nice, strong boy, carries the ball well. Unfortunately, just running out of options there. And good work by Leo Michael, as he correctly mentioned, to charge down that kick there and him losing it forward, unfortunately. We'll see another scrum there. You mentioned a little bit earlier, Johan, about the replacement forwards that have come on, and we saw the immediate impact in the scrum here. Let's see if Nelspruit are able to get a good hit in again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Schroeder shapes on the tight head. Started the match off at loose head, but with the injury to Otto, he's now moved over to the tight head side, Lucky. And it's very promising to see a player that can play in both positions. But as we're well aware in professional rugby, it's sometimes also dangerous, thinking back of a player like Kuni Westhuizen. But a beautiful scrum once again by Nelspruit, and it's Skippers on the run around, but caught in possession, and now it's Smith. Smith out to F.R. Van Eyck. Oh, and beautiful cover, beautiful ball on the inside by Van Eyck. What does the referee says? He calls time off. If that offload was legal, that was absolutely brilliant work. Yes, says the referee, try time. And Van Eyck did beautifully to get that offload off the ground, Lucky. And Nelspruit over via Stefan Smith for the first try of this match.
How beautiful was that awareness in terms of counter-attacking? It was broken play, quickly onto the ball. The players quickly set up and off they went. That was absolutely remarkable to see, Johan. Just the intensity of the players and the reaction from the ball.
Ja, absoluut skitterend deur Hoërskool Nelspruit daar. F.R. Van Eyck met 'n skitterende bal van die grond af. En Stefan Smit wat 'n ongelooflike ondersteunende lyn gehardloop het. En Smit wat die eerste 3 van die wedstryd aanteken. Hoërskool Nelspruit wat die voortou neem. En dit is loskakel Du Plessis wat gaan kyk of hy die ekstra 2 punte kan byvoeg met die doelskop. Ons het reeds gesien dat Du Plessis 'n wonderlike skopper uit die hand is. En kom ons kyk wat kan hy doen met die eerste stelskop van die wedstryd. Du Plessis wat vorentoe kom. Tref die bal goed. Ongelukkig net verby die linker regoppaal. En dit is Hoërskool Nelspruit na 20 minute se rugby voor met 5 punte teenoor 3. Sien hoe Skeepers hierso in besit betrap word en skitterend Stefan Smit uit na F.A. Van Eyck. Van Eyck gevang net voor die doellyn, maar ongelooflik kry hy die bal weg. En Stefan Smit wat oorbars vir die eerste 3 van die wedstryd. Hoërskool Nelspruit 5, St. David's 3.
We see a wayward restart there by Skippers, and referee will bring them back to the halfway. And just while we wait for that scrum, just a word from our main sponsors, the Chief Executive, Miss Funeka Tonjane. She wishes all participating schools the best of luck and health. She says, have fun, play hard, and enjoy the true South African spirit of unity and sportsmanship. That is a word from Standard Bank's Chief Executive, Miss Funeka Tonjane.
Yeah, and that's so important, Lucky. on a festival like this, you know, first and foremost, the players must have fun. And that's something that St. John's also really caters for. And the matches is also played 30 minutes running time. So it's emphasis on ball and hand running rugby. And I think the players are enjoying this festival immensely. Just a kudos up to School Sports Live as well, giving you 27 matches on this Saturday from right across South Africa. Kersney Easter Festival in Natal, Paul Gymnasium Rugby Tournament, St. John's College Easter Festival, and over 1 million views just yesterday on School Sports Live, Lucky.
I saw that. That's absolutely remarkable, and a credit to the production crew of School Sports Live. They at Big Sky Productions have really done well. All the cameramen bringing us these visuals, they really do an awesome job.
And we see High School Nelspruit with a feed on the halfway line after a poor kickoff by Marcel Skeepers. Unforced error by St. David's, and it's something they can't afford if they want to stay in this match. Nelspruit has been taking control over the last 5 to 10 minutes. As we see scrum off, Henning with a feed.
Another solid hit from Nelspruit as we see the halfback again. Good delivery of the ball is Maguire, and he gets it out early. Does Henning straight through the centres is fly half Duplessis. He hands it back again, but unfortunately ball just going a little bit forward there.
Yeah, ball just going forward out of the hand of Stefan Smith to Rieder. And St. David's will have the opportunity to feed the scrum about 7 meters inside their own half. And they will desperately be looking to keep hold of a possession, as they have been struggling over the last 5 minutes to get hands on the ball. The pack of forwards of Hoërkool Nelspruit slowly but surely taking control of this game. Andrew Kaywood, the number 9 of St. David's, looking to feed the scrum. And Sean Naylor and Gregory Curry, the centre pairing of St. David's, will be desperately looking to get hands on the ball. We haven't seen much of them thus so far.
They sit very deep, don't they, Johan? The setup here from St. David's, a tactic from the training field, one must presume. So we'll see now when Kaywood delivers a ball. He does so successfully to Skeepers. A switch up by Gregory Curry, and the ball is taken up and unfortunately lost there by Naylor.
Yeah, unfortunately the backs of St. David's guilty of getting caught in possession just a little bit and just crabbing across the field, making it easy for the defense. And one would like to see them carrying it up a bit more directly and creating space for the outside. Something that I've seen a lot at this festival is the best defender on the park, the touchline. And it's won too many tackles in this tournament so far, with a problem of rugby generally in South Africa, with backs maybe just not running straight enough. And as we see, just a little push and shove battle there between the halfbacks, as Kaywood just mentioning to Henning that it's not an easy feed. Is nou Henning wat die bal kan ingooi hier vir Hoërskool Nelspruit. Skeieregter ongelukkig nie gelukkig op hierdie stadium. En hy roep die spelers by mekaar en gesels al so 'n bietjie oor wat hy verwag van hulle in die volgende vaste skram. Lucky, I think it's the two sets of forwards, just maybe a little bit far, wanting to get them close on the hit, and ear to ear, as they say. Let's see if we can get it right on this occasion.
Referee there just looking for a little bit of stability, which he's happy with. Henning's at the back of that ball, and he'll now distribute it to fly half at Duplessis. A double wrap around there, and we see some space opening up on the outside. The direct route Van Eyck goes again. It is back to the fly half. Wonderful distribution, and a certain 5 points by Hoërskool Nelspruit. That was lovely to see. Under the sticks he goes. Try time, Hoërskool Nelspruit.
It's that man Rieder again, and as I mentioned, direct ranging. And beautiful direct running by the backs. F.R. Van Eyck with another big impact in that try, the number 23. And he must be ticking the boxes for his coaching staff right now. And Nelspruit taking control of this encounter. 25 minutes gone in the first half. And with a conversion to come, 5 or 10 points to 3 at this stage to Nelspruit. But an easy conversion coming up for Duplessis. And he should be adding the extras. But that was absolutely beautiful running by the back line after a great scrum, as we see Henning here feeding Duplessis. Duplessis with a long ball out to that man, F.R. Van Eyck. Good direct straight running by Van Eyck, and another beautiful offload. Tian du Plessis then involved again, and Rieder with a step on the inside. 5 points for High School Nelspruit.
You see the critical difference here, Johan. We saw the line out on just about 10 meters there, and St. David's very widespread. You mentioned it a little bit earlier, and coming across the field of play, direct running from Nelspruit, and we see the differences as fly half du Plessis adds the extra 2 points, making the score 12-3 just before half-time. There about 3 minutes or so to go.
Lucky, I'm a big advocate of straight running in the back line, creating a space for the outside players. And selflessness there once again by F.R. van Eyck. Beautiful offload of the ground. And Paul Rieder cashing in and scoring under the post after a step on the left. Let's see if Marcel Skeepers can control his kickoff better this time. St. David's desperately needs some possession.
A couple of changes made during that kick, Johanna. I see players coming on there. One of them is Yuvan Naidu. He's a replacement hooker. And Moeng coming off, staying on the field there rather. He must be replacing somebody else in the front row there. Probably just to stabilize that scrum.
Nog 'n goeie breek daar deur F.H. van Eyck. En skoppie oor deur Henning. En is die jagste man wat die bal ja. Oh, en dan roep die skeieregter ons terug. En groot duikslag ook daar deur die heel agter Leo Michael. En dit was die jagste man van Nelspruit Kotse, hard gelak deur Leo Michael. En ons sien hier hoe die assistent skeieregter die skeieregter net nader roep vir 'n geselsie. Wonder of dit juist oor daardie duikslag is. En skeieregter wat dan ook vir Leo Michael gaan nader roep. Die heel agter van St. David's. Aanvanklik die strafskop aan St. David's Inanda met Kotse wat voor die bal was. Dis nou die skeieregter wat gesels met Leo Michael as ons sien hier hoe.
Exactly what happened here, Johan. We see a lovely chip and chase. 8th man there in possession of the ball.
Yeah, that is a bit of a spear tackle. And we know that referees are very, very strict on it these days. It was Kutsie who actually just stopped his run just a little bit when he heard the whistle. And then it was Leo Michael using his opportunity and making a big physical statement on the 8th man. As we see the referee, what is the options that he's giving High School Nelspruit at this stage? He says no, he's carrying on with play, it looks like it. And penalty like it was originally. Nelspruit going offside in front of the kicker. And this is a golden opportunity now for St. David's in the last minute of the first half, Lucky.
I think, Johan, just to clear a little bit of confusion, that tackle by Leo Michael, I think the referee was confident that he wasn't taken over the horizontal, therefore it didn't reverse the penalty, and then came back to the original infringement, which was the offside from the box kick. And this is why play continues where it is, just inside the 10-meter line.
You're 100% correct, Lucky. Original penalty was for Kutsia going in front of Henning at the kick, as we see a unforced error again by St. David's, and giving possession straight back to Nelspruit. And they've committed that cardinal sin again of giving the ball away cheaply. And High School Nelspruit will definitely be accepting that gleefully. Just once again, Lucky, maybe if you also missed it, the Sharks this morning thumping the Blues in Auckland by 63 points to 40. And a great result for South African rugby, winning one down under in New Zealand, and absolutely awesome stuff by the Sharks. Well done to coaching staff Robert de Prier and his assistants.
Certainly so. You had a fantastic result, but not for one of my friends, Chris Peters. He had bet against him on Super Brew. So he's not a happy man this morning, but a wonderful spectacle for South African rugby, that one.
Ball carried out by Van der Merwe in the midfield for High School Nelspruit. As we see Henning once again digging for possession. Henning on the little loop around. Now he wants to find one of his big forwards. It looks like Beekman with a big carry there. Henning once again, quick ball out to Du Plessis. Beautiful ball to Stefan Smith. Oh, and then it's Kutsia. Unfortunately making the handling error. It was a beautiful offload by Stefan Smith to Kutsia. Oh, Leo Michael on the big run, and another mistake by St. David's. The referee says double knock on. And that's enough of a pulsating first half, says referee. And Hoërkool Nelspruit leading St. David's Marist by 12 points to 3, but Lucky definitely not having it all their own way.
Certainly so, Johan. A good first half there. It did take a bit of a while to get the momentum, but a lovely spectacle, and we look forward to the second half. It is day 2 of the St. John's Standard Bank Easter Rugby Festival. It is 12 points to 3 against Nelspruit, and we'll see you in the second half.
Thank you very much, Lucky, for that first half, and folks, enjoy the quick break. Get something to drink and join us again for the second half.
Everybody, raise your glasses. I just want to say how proud I am of my wife. I don't care that you didn't finish. I mean, I saw you train so hard. You may not be an Ironman, okay? But you will always be my schnookums.
Back. Oh, it's good. I thought you were going to sit down.
Welcome back, everyone. It is, of course, day 2 of the Standard Bank St. John's College Rugby Easter Festival. We are up in Johannesburg, in Houghton to be precise. Weather's looking good, and judging by how the first half went, particularly towards the end, we are set for quite a thumper of a second half. It is Nelspruit leading St. David's Marist Inanda by 12 points to 3, and the second half is about to get underway.
Lucky, I just had a chat with some of the high school Nelspruit parents sitting here in front of the commentary box. Apparently, Tian du Plessis suffered an injury last year that kept him out for the whole season. The fly-off of high school Nelspruit, been very impressed by him in the first half. He actually played for the first side at inside centre in his grade 11 year. Next to that man that both of us know very well, Stefan van der Bank, who played for the Pumas last year at number 10 at Craven Week. And Tian du Plessis looks to be set right in the same mould, big boots on him, and been impressive in the way he's kept his side on the front foot. Also been very impressed by F.R. van Eyck, wearing the number 23 jumper today, but playing on the right wing. And Paul Rieder, the fullback, also getting himself nice and involved in the match for Nelspruit. On the side of St. David's from Inanda, scrum half Andrew Kaywood has looked to be very capable, and then Leo Michael, the fullback, making his physical presence felt with a big hit on 8th man from Nelspruit, Tian Kotsia, as we see that man that we just chatted about, Tian du Plessis, about to get the second half underway, and Nelspruit would look to carry on where they left off during that first half.
Certainly so, and we see a couple of changes on both sides. Myself and Johan will do our best just to run through those changes as soon as we get an opportunity, as we see Michael Farr, the flanker, busting up and getting ahead of the gain line there. Kaywood onto the ball now. He'll send it deep to Skeppers, and he'll clear the lines with a well-educated kick there. Not going out, unfortunately, in a bit of a fumble there, but good regather by the fullback there, Rieda.
Yeah, it was a nice start there by Skeppers, finding some grass with his kick and putting High School Nelspruit under pressure early in the second half. And Michael Farr, the number 7 flanker for St. David's, has also been heavily involved in carrying the ball up for St. David's, as we now see Muteo Moeng being able to feed the line out, attacking line out for St. David's, and taken right at the back of the line out by Jordan Swart, the big tight head for St. David's. So we now need a scrum half to come in. It's that man Muteo Moeng, the hooker, with a little pick and go. This time it's Kaywood getting his hands on the ball. Now it's Skeppers with a long ball into the centres and looking for a gap. There is a number 12, Sean Naylor for St. David's. Skeppers once again. Unfortunately, the pass going forward out of the hands there of one of the replacements. Try to get you a number just now and identify the big boy, number 16, Yuvan Naidu. He came on late in the first half, and unfortunately just a little bit of a handling error there for the loose head prop, Yuvan Naidu. Not the greatest of passes by fly off Marcel Skeppers. And it's High School Nelspruit who can feed the ball now, about 10 meters outside their own 22. As scrum off, Henning will be able to put the ball in to a scrum that's been pretty dominant in the first half, Lucky.
Certainly so. Yuvan Naidu, of course, playing in the number 16 jumper, but he has gone on to the loose head position. Of course, Moeng staying in his position as we see Kutswe give the ball backwards. It is a little bit sloppy, but quickly cleaned up there by Neil Henning.
Yeah, good clean-up work there by the scrum off, protecting the ball for Nelspruit. So they now send it down to the left. And a big carry up there in the midfield. As we see Skeppers, the fly-off, getting involved in the defense there for St. David's. Now it's du Plessis out to Rieda. Unfortunately, Rieda just taking his eyes off that one and losing it forwards. He had such a good first half, did Rieda, but just took his eyes off that one, and a little bit of argy-bargy and afterwards. And just asking each other how the day went and how their tournament has been so far. A little bit of handbags at 5 paces.
Certainly so, Johan, and whilst we have a pause in this, on behalf of St. John's College, they would like to thank everybody who contributed to the success of this, the 23rd edition of the Rugby Festival, proudly sponsored by Standard Bank. Special mention to the sponsors as well, just quickly going through them there. Our headline sponsor, of course, it is Standard Bank, and along them is Samsung, iTech, Spur, Circa, Gosco, as well as everyone else who's supported this festival and made a contribution. It is, of course, with great gratitude on behalf of the hosts.
Kaywood with the feed now for St. David's. Nice attacking position here. Skeppers bringing in Leo Michael with a big carry in the center of the field. Leo Michael, fullback, beautiful run by the fullback of St. David's. And a great scramble defense there by High School Nelspruit to keep them out. Kaywood with a little run around the fringe, and St. David's in a great attacking position. What can they do with this one? Little pick and go by the forwards. Great defense there by Tian du Plessis, the fly off. So we see Kaywood once again spreading the ball to the left, and it's that man Yuvan Naidu over on the left for St. David's, and right back in the game is St. David's. Beautiful work there by Leo Michael leading up to the try. He's been very instrumental in all the good work St. David's has done today. And Yuvan Naidu playing on the loose head, wearing the number 16 jumper, goes over.
Certainly so, and credit to Leo Michael, like you said. You spoke in the first half about the direct running. You spoke about taking it up to the gain line there. And certainly what we witnessed there was very, very nice. Again, We see no panic stations here from St. David's. They slowly build the ball up. I like the way that Andrew Corwood is there in control at the base, and he sets the ball nice and wide. Great distribution there by Gregory Curry to his teammate Yuvan Naidu. 5 points St. David's, and they get the first say in the second half.
Now that was great soft hands there by Curry, and putting Naidu into a great position, and big man's eyes lit up, saw the line, and nobody was in front. As we see Skeppers now attempting the conversion to get his side within 2 of Hoërkool Nelspruit. Yeah, the strike was good and the flags are raised. 12 plays 10 here, and the third match of the second day of the St. John's Easter Festival. Hoërkool Nelspruit 10, St. David's Marist from Inanda 10 points. So Nelspruit in the lead by 2, 12 points to 10. As we see the fly half with a booming boot, Tian du Plessis getting ready to restart the action. It's that man Carr going up for St. David's, but it looks like Nelspruit has controlled it from the kickoff, and it's Henning out to Swanepoel, soft hands to Kotsia. Kotsia getting man and ball at the same time, but he did very well to control it. Henning once again, unfortunately getting a little bit scrappy for Hoërkool Nelspruit. But the referee coming back, no advantage, and it was a knock-on by Carr from the kickoff, and the referee brings us all the way back, and it'll be a scrum with Hoërkool Nelspruit heading to feed the ball.
A reminder for those of you that are not able to join us here at St. John's, the Rugby Festival in Houghton, you can follow us on all sorts of social media platforms. We are, of course, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter as well, and of course on YouTube. You're able to watch this and many other rugby festivals from around the country brought to you live by School Sports Live. If you want to have a chat to Johan and myself here in commentary, very, very simple. Hashtag SSL Rugby, hashtag SJC Rugby Fest. That's how you get in touch with us, and we're able to read out your comments here live in the commentary booth.
Lucky, interesting to see also on it loose head now is VR de Villiers, and tight red is Broekman for Nelspruit, and interesting to see the way the scrums will be going with the 2 replacement prop forwards on. Scrums went very, very well for Nelspruit in the first half. Another solid hit there by both teams. Henning putting the ball into a very solid Nelspruit scrum once more. Henning out to Du Plessis. Du Plessis finds his centre, and Du Plessis with a loop around. Well controlled by Tian Du Plessis on the ground. Henning now once again looking for possession for Nelspruit. And offside called by the referee. St. David's looking to get their rush defence going once again. But so important is the timing when you're looking to rush up. And the referee giving Tian Du Plessis an opportunity to look for the touchline and get Nelspruit well onto the attack. And a good kick by Du Plessis, finding touch inside the 22 of St. David's. And a great attacking opportunity here, Lucky.
First visit inside the opposition's 22 here by Nelspruit. Let's see if they're able to capitalize on it. A good spread, if we see the setup here by Nelspruit. Good spread here. The 8th man is out as well. I could see the line out, possibly looking to run off 12. A couple of dummy runners, I can suspect. We see Du Plessis sitting way behind the front line. Line out does not go according to Nelspruit's way, but Kaywood clears the lines for St. David's. Ball is not out, but an opportunity here to counter-attack by Nelspruit.
Well covered by Van Eck into the hands of Rieder, who had a very impressive first half, but he got man and ball at the same time. And the referee said he was held in the tackle. As we see another little bit of afters, and Sean Naylor getting right into the face of Rieder there. And it was Naylor who made the tackle on Rieder. And good work as we see Marcel Skeppers is going to line up the penalty kick. And if he converts this, St. David's will take the lead. And it looks like he has definitely decided to kick at goal. Fly half Marcel Skeppers will be looking to put St. David Marist into the lead. We've had about 9 minutes of the second half of the third game of the second day of the St. John's College Easter Festival, brought to you by School Sports Live. And thank you very much once again to Standard Bank, making it possible for us to bring you the games live here from St. John's College. Lucky it's another big kick lined up here by Skeppers.
Certainly so. We've seen he's got the direction. We've seen he's got the distance. He did attempt a kick of this magnitude in the first half.
Skeppers coming forward. Strike looks decent. Yeah, this one's not going to have the legs. It's short and to the right. And Du Plessis clears brilliantly. And it takes play up to about the 10-meter line. And unfortunately, that wasn't Marcel Skeppers' best strike of the day. He kicked more tee than ball there, Lucky. And it ended up being short and right. But Matteo Moheng can feed the line out, and it's still in an attacking position for St. David's.
Right here in front of us, play is being held. Ball comes out quickly by Corwood. It then goes to Marcel Skeppers. A big ball there to that man, Leo Michael. That ball there taken by Curry, and unfortunately lost forward. Nelspruit here, counter-attacking opportunity. They are, of course, inside their half, but will look to clear the lines.
It's a little dink through by Van der Merwe, and touch judge has got his flag up. The assistant referee on the far side has got showing that it's going to be Nelspruit's feed in the line out, and it'll be Jason Cornelius that'll be able to feed this line out for High School Nelspruit. Skitterende aanvalsgeleentheid vanaf die lyn staan. Sien weer vir die agste man Kotse hier in die agterlyn. En definitief iets wat op die oefenveld aan gewerk is, die beweging. Maar eers sal hulle die bal moet bemeester in die lyn staan. Hy is goed gerank deur Swanepoel in die lyn staan. En het lyk na Stefan Smit wat daar op binnelyn gehardloop het. En ongelukkig is dit weer die bal wat verlore gaan. En skitterende werk deur St. David's van Inanda. Kaywood spreading it wide into the hands of Skeppers. Skeppers looking to find some grass, but it's well covered by Rieder. And Rieder with a counter-attacking opportunity gets rid of Leo Michael. And taken in by Curry for St. David's. And Henning with some quick ball. He finds De Villiers. De Villiers finds his prop mate, Broekman. Henning once again looking to get the little kick through, but it's well taken in by Carr, and he gets the kick through. Now it's a Kaywood on the chase, but a good covering by Henning once again for Nelspruit. And then Kaywood going straight down on the player on the ground. En Nick Henning wat skitterende werk doen daar vir Hoërkool Nelspruit. En Tian Du Plessis wat groot verligting kan bring hier vir die manne van Mpumalanga met St. David's wat al hoe meer en meer in die wedstryd kom. Maar dan is dit Andrew Kaywood wat 'n geel kaart gewys word. He went straight in off his feet, Lucky, and dived on the player on the ground. And that can be very dangerous.
But before that, Johan, very, very silly. Two phases of play by St. David's. They've got an advantage here given to them by the referee. They kick the ball away loosely, and then, like you said, critical infringement on the ball there leads to the yellow card. As we see now, the counter-attack is Nelspruit. They come with their fullback there. He's making the meters for them. There is Rieder. He is set up on the base. We see now number 22 on the park. It is Jan-Rikke Vermeulen. He will then take the ball up forward. A great, nice, bustling run from him. He brings play just inside the 10-meter line.
Now it's in the hands of the 8th-man Kotse. And they get it out to Stefan Smith, the impressive number 12 of High School Nelspruit, who's been having a field day in broken play. And Nelspruit carrying up beautifully through Kotse once again. It's out to Tian Du Plessis in the hands of V.R. De Villiers, the replacement loose head prop. Good busting run by De Villiers. Tian Du Plessis once again. Du Plessis getting rid of Leo Michael. Du Plessis is over. Beautiful work by the fly off Tian Du Plessis. And we've got another special number 10 here by High School Nelspruit, or for High School Nelspruit. Following in the footsteps of Stefan van der Bank of last year, Tian Du Plessis over.
Fantastic 5-pointer there by the men from Nelspruit. They assert their dominance, particularly on the scoreboard. It is 17 points to 10 with a kick to come. Lovely counter-attacking ability displayed by Nelspruit to take advantage of the broken play. Great interactions between Vermeulen, a nice strong carry. The centre pairings as well involved in that movement. Finally, it was Du Plessis to bustle through the middle as we go through this replay here. Good work by the forwards. Ball comes out very, very quickly there by Henning. Wonderful distribution. It is Du Plessis that shrugs off Leo Michael and goes over for 5 points.
Leo Michael has done some yeoman work on defence today, but that wasn't his best effort. Like, he went in far too high, and Du Plessis just corked through out of the tackle, and 5 points. Self-same Du Plessis to see if he can add the extras. Kick from out wide on the left-hand touchline, 5 metres in. Comes forward, let's look at the strike. Strike is pure. Unfortunately, just drifts to the right to the uprights. And Hoërkool Nelspruit 17, St. David's 10. We've had exactly about half of the second half. 15 minutes gone, 15 to go. This is still anybody's game.
Certainly so, and lovely to see that both teams are here to play, aren't they, Johan? Some great rugby being played. Critical phase now for St. David's. They are a man down, so they do need to suck the players in from Nelspruit. From Nelspruit, it is a backline player, so they'll want to get that ball as wide as possible, won't they?
Skippers with a kick in. And beautifully fielded on the touchline. It looks like Van der Berg that fielded that one for Hoërkool Nelspruit. So we see Henning digging for it once again. And the box kick by Henning. Leo Michael, the fullback.
Wonderfully positioned again.
Big carry up in the midfield, big contact, and a good tackle by Jason Cornelius, the hooker of Hoërkool Nelspruit. As Skippers now under immense amount of pressure. Does brilliantly to get rid of the first tackler. But beautiful possession once again by Tian Du Plessis. And he's looking to counter-attack. And gets the ball away beautifully. Well done to keep inside the field of play there by Hoërkool Nelspruit. As the penalty goes the way. And we see the two fly-offs just getting to know each other a bit better as well. And Skippers and Du Plessis just having a quiet word and a conversation about who's buying the coffee after the match.
Certainly so, and lovely scrambling defence there by St. David's. They are, of course, a man short. We see head coach there, Johan Black, roaring instructions to his team. I'm sure the instruction here will be to buy time for their player to come back on number one, to consolidate and play conservatively. They can't afford silly mistakes here, Johan.
Yeah, lucky if you ever don't want to lose a player, it's your number 9. And if your opposition can select a player that you have to lose, it's your number 9. Because that disrupts both the pack and the back line. But so far, they're doing reasonably well. Let's see Muteo Mueng with a throw. And it's a good take of the line out. You can see that there is a replacement scrum off on the field at this stage. Carried up by Hooker Mueng once again. Looks like the St. David's pack wants to pick and go. Keep the play a little bit slow as we see Skippers now. To that man Carl carrying up strongly in the midfield again. Nelspruit in over the ball very quickly, and referee says the turnover is good. Swanepoel, the lanky lock forward with a carry now for Nelspruit. Henning dinks it over the top once more. Turns St. David's around, and a beautiful kick by scrum off Henning, keeping Nelspruit on the front foot at this stage.
Lovely little kick to get Nelspruit deep inside the 22 there. As we see the crowd that's come out for this day. If you haven't made up your mind yet, please pull through. 30 Rand gets you in to enjoy this wonderful festival of rugby. We've got food, we've got drink, and we've got wonderful entertainment lined up throughout the day. And as well, we are, of course, here for the boys. So a wonderful spectacle of rugby on offer as well, as we see Mueng about to feed the line out once more. Far gets his hands onto it eventually. It is a maul opted by Marist Inanda. Not moving in the direction that they would like. Use it once, warns the referee. It's going horribly backward here, Johan.
Yeah, but eventually they do manage to bring it to ground. And it's Sebastian Riva getting the pass out to Skippers. Skippers with a good old banana kick. And he does beautifully to find the touch. That was a great work by fly-off Marcel Skippers. And good work by St. David's to get out of their own 22. Still playing with a man down. About 11 minutes to go in this fixture. Hoërkool Nelspruit leading a tight encounter by 17 points to 10.
Certainly so. Wonderful kick there by Skippers, and critically so from Yelan, the number 22, just getting hands on that ball, which is why the line-out has gone the way of St. David's, Marist Inanda. They do opt for a short line-out here. They'll be looking for their big jumper. It does go up to the captain, James McIndoe.
Another pick and go here by the St. David's forwards. You can see they're doing well to slow the game down while they're down to 14 players. And it's Carl with another carry. Unfortunately, takes his eyes off this one. And gives possession back to Hoërkool Nelspruit. Critical mistakes by St. David's. Getting into the half of Nelspruit and then just giving possession back. And this will be a great opportunity for Nelspruit to get back into the half of the opposition.
Perhaps you can educate us here, Johan. It is obviously schoolboy rugby. You mentioned that we play 30 minutes running time. So for Mr. Kaywood, that's off the park. How long is he off for effectively?
Lucky, that's a very, very good question. But
oh, did I put you on the spot there?
You put me on the spot there, but I'm gonna answer it the best way I can. 30 minutes and 35 minutes aside, the yellow card stays 10 minutes. Any games less than 30 minutes, the times start reducing, but he'll still be off for 10. And it's interesting because that makes a much bigger impact than in 35 or 40 minutes a regular. So we will be looking. I see there is a replacement on the field, and we are 15 against 15, it looks like, at this stage.
I'll be sure to have a word with the head coach from St. David's, Marist, Inanda, Johan Black. He's also one of the Lions referees, so I'm sure he'll be well equipped to answer that question. But true story, Johan, we seem to be at even Stevens, and play resumes with a full complement on the park.
Great work here by Hoërkool Nelspruit. On the right-hand side, it's Van Eck again with a dink forward. Big chase up, and good work there by Marcel Skeppers. Unfortunately, it's been carried over, and great work there in covering by the fly half. He had no other option. Lots of pressure on him, and once again, good work by Van Eck on the right wing, and putting Nelspruit into a great attacking opportunity. Lucky, interesting. I just want to make sure if we see the backline lining up at this stage. There's definitely a replacement scrum off, but you are allowed to make a replacement. And don't know if we are back to the full complement yet.
It certainly does seem like it, but we'll wait for official confirmation as we see Maguire. He's a man with the ball at the moment for Nelspruit is James. And in these positions, Johan, I'm always keen for a cheeky blindside after the scrum.
Little 8-9-14 always on, but we can see the blindside winger hovering here behind the back line. And so the best we can do there is maybe a 8-6-9. And we'll see what Nelspruit conjures up here. Maybe the 8th man going a little wider and popping it inside to one of the flankers. And the scrum off with a little run around on the blind side. But with such a lovely blind side to work with 5 yards out, I'll also be tempted to use it. Although they are lined up on the open side. Let's see what they conjure up here at Nelspruit. Definitely a training park move coming up here, Lucky.
That indeed, as we see, Andy Farie's actually gone into the 8th man position. And whilst that we see Andrew Corwood making his way around the field. I don't know if the intention is to get him back on the park. We see the ball come out now for Duplessis. He leaves the first player there. It goes on to the number 12, Smith. Try time!
Oh, beautiful. That was absolutely great skills by Stefan Smith. Spoke about him earlier, had a very good first half. And Stefan Smith does brilliantly, reaching over the try line. And 5 points to Hoërkool Nelspruit. And that puts them firmly in control, Lucky.
Certainly so. Wonderful distribution. I think Hoërkool Nelspruit fooled both St. David's, Marist, and us here in the commentary booth. They did not opt for the blindside option. Instead, the ball went there to Duplessis. He waited and that ball hanged for quite a long time. 2 dummy runners in there. Then it welcomed Smith. He did the rest, bustling through some players and a wonderful reach for 5 points.
Ja, skitterend gedoen daar deur Stefan Smit van Hoërkool Nelspruit. Die binnensenter, groot wedstryd deur Smit vandag gewees en Hoërkool Nelspruit nou totaal en al in beheer van sake hier teen St. David's van Inanda. As 'n loskakel, Tian Du Plessis kyk of hy die ekstra punte kan byvoeg. Du Plessis wat vorentoe kom. Tref die bal goed. Ja, hy suiwer tussen die pale deur. Die assistentskeieregters met vlaam hoog. En dit is Hoërkool Nelspruit wat voorloop met 24 punte teenoor 10. As ons hier sien Stefan Smit fop aangee na die buitekant. Skitterend wat hy vir Naylor afstamp en dan strek oor die doellyn 5 punte Stefan Smit.
Restart here once again by Marcel Skeepers. It is an uphill battle now for the man from Inanda. As we get into the last 5 minutes of this encounter here between Nelspruit and Inanda.
A beautiful carrying now by Hoërkool Nelspruit. Unfortunately just losing the ball forward, and Marcel Skeepers just covering back as he usually does the fly off. He's been absolutely everywhere for St. David's this afternoon. But unforced error there by Hoërkool Nelspruit as we see a lot of the replacements. We also see number 16 Van Sail on for Nelspruit. And everybody getting a chance to play here at the second day of the St. John's Festival. About four and a half minutes left in this interesting encounter between St. David's and Hoërkool Nelspruit. As we see Marcel Skeepers, the fly-off, having a chat to his backline players. His centre Curry itching to get the ball, his hands on the ball, as is fullback Leo Michael, who's been impressive today, Lucky.
Certainly so. As individuals, I think St. David's have really come to the park. We've had some fantastic individual plays as we see that cheeky little chicken wing there by Charles van Zyl. Unfortunately not coming to hand, rather to the nose of his teammate.
Yeah, the referee adjudged it as a knock on, so...
did knock his nose, yeah?
Did knock his nose, yeah. And interesting decision, but this gives an opportunity to St. David's. That man Kaywood is back on the park. Kaywood to Skeepers. It's going to be Leo Michael to carry it up in midfield. Good defense, though, by Hoërkool Nelspruit this time. Michael has been a bit of a marked man. Good carry up, and it's into the captain, Zans Masindo, and he also gets an offload. Beautiful rugby. Now by St. David's, looking to stretch the Nelspruit defense. Kaywood carried up by Yuvan Naidu, try scorer for St. David's. Kaywood again once more into the hands of Skeepers. Leo Michael on the dummy run, and Skeepers goes on his own. Kaywood, big run coming on. Kaywood with a little show and go. He's been very dangerous while he was on the park today. St. David's just 3 meters out. Big carry by the tight head prop Jordan Swart. Looked like Nelspruit was coming in from the side. Referee does have advantage. St. David's just needs some patience here. Just a meter out into the hands of Skeepers, spotting some space. And Skeepers is over. He's deserved that one. Marcel Skeepers going over. And he's had a lot to say today on the field. And he's been in a couple of altercations with players, but just tapping the Nelspruit guys on the back there and saying, I went over there. Marcel Skeepers putting some life back into this game, Lucky.
Certainly so, but once again we see St. David's on the line in terms of attack, and good patience and maturity shown. Twice they've been in this situation, nobody panicked, and it's that crucial man again, Andrew Kaywood, who's been instrumental at stabilizing the ship. Wonderful distribution, interplay between backs and forwards, lovely to see, and of course Skeepers taking the 5 points, but really a team try at the end of the day.
Yeah, I have been very impressed with Andrew Kaywood. The scrum off has been sort of marshalling the troops very well while he's on the field, as we see Skeepers looking to make it a 7-point ball game. Yeah, and that goes straight through the upright. 7 points in it, Lucky. Minute and a half to go. Hoërkool Nelspruit must keep their concentration up here. As we see the offload. Final offload. Going there. Great pass to Skeepers. Spotting that a little inside. On the inside of Duplessis. And straight over Van der Merwe and over for 5. Oh, beautiful take off the kickoff now by Hoërkool Nelspruit. And then a great tackle as well. Right in front of the referee, and he was happy with that one. You see Maguire, it's in fact Van der Merwe with a little dink through. And touchline wins that race. You see Leo Michael with a quick throw in. Beautiful stepping there by Kaywood into the hands of big tight head Jordan Swart. Looking to speed up the game at St. David's. They are 7 points down. Converted try gets them the draw. Lots of space here on the right-hand side now. And a little bit of a stutter step, but unfortunately just losing his footing is Vermeulen. And then holding on to the ball on the ground. Sealing it off, says the referee. going off their feet to drag time, and then also throwing the ball away. Another 10 yards, the referee adds to it, and this should be the final nail in the coffin by Nelspruit. 30 seconds to go, Lucky.
You could see the intention by St. David's. The clock was against them. They wanted to run it from deep. Unfortunately, good scrambling defense there by Nelspruit. It did help that Vermeeren managed to trip over his own feet, unfortunately, but it does give Nelspruit an opportunity to have the final say in this match.
Skitterend ingeneem in die lyn staan deur Hoërkool Nelspruit. Nou is die kans vir 'n dryfbalbeweging. En skitterend aan die gang is die dryfbalbeweging. Reg deur die middel. En hulle is 'n meter kort, slegs 'n meter kort is Hoërkool Nelspruit. Kyk na McQuire wat die bal uitkry. Skitterend opgeneem deur een van die voorspelers. En skitterend verdedig ook deur St. David's. Lucky, they're just 2 meters short. Now patience needed for them.
Certainly so. Advantage is being played by the referee. They will get the ball out wide, and it will be that man in the fullback position, Rieder, to get the final points of this encounter.
Yeah, and that's been Rieder's second try. And a beautiful finish to the game by Hoërkool Nelspruit. Spreading the ball wide, being nice and patient after a great rolling maul from the line out. Another couple of phases, and then there was always going to be space right. And the ball went out into the hands of fullback Paul Rieder, who crossed the whitewash in the right-hand corner. Beautiful rugby to finish off the game for Hoërkool Nelspruit. So we'll see Du Plessis with a drop goal attempt from the right-hand touchline. And not a bad one at that. But the referee blows the final whistle. Delight for the Hoërkool Nelspruit supporters as we see Tiaan Du Plessis spreading that one wide into the hands of Van der Merwe. And another wide ball to Rieder with acres of space going over the right-hand corner. But Lucky, a great performance by both sides. And a game that pulsated us late into the second half with 3 results still on the cards with 6 minutes to go. And Hoërkool Nelspruit coming out victorious by 29 points to 17.
Critical encounter by both teams. Johan, as you've correctly said, the critical thing for St. David's, unfortunately, was that yellow card by Andrew Kaywood. He would have made a difference and been a successful impact in this game. However, it is full time. It is Nelspruit that win this one by 29 points to 17. Like Johan and I have said before, 30 Rand gets you in here to St. John's. Come and enjoy a wonderful spectacle of schoolboy rugby and join us here. This festival, of course, brought to you by Standard Bank. From the Big Sky production team and all of us here at School Sports Live, for this match in particular, it's goodbye from me.
Thank you very much, Lucky. What a pleasure to share this match with you. And like Lucky said, come on, folks, get in here to St. John's. The atmosphere is brilliant. Great running rugby on show. Good food, good drinks, and get yourself over here from our side. Enjoy the rest of your day.